For describing the difference of two groups, we often want to visualize by using a graph. And for that, we are using bar graph together with the error bar. Today, I want to explain how we can do that. First, we create data for group 1 and group 2. In this case, I just make up a data. One group consists of 10 data. Like this. And to describe the data, the group with using a number, the one that we often calculate is the average of the group. Average can be calculated manually as follows. So average X bar here is the sum of the data x1, x2, x3, and so forth, divided by the number of the data. In Excel, we can just use the built-in function, type equal sign here, average, choose average, and choose the data range. Here we have from B2 until B11. Close the function and enter. So from group 1, we have the average of 2.2. To describe how the data is distributed or scattered, we use the standard deviation. There are two types of standard deviation, population standard deviation and sample standard deviation. In this example, I want to use the population standard deviation. Manually, we can calculate that using the equation as follows. S here is the standard deviation, and because we subtract the data with the mean, that means we are interested in how different the data from the mean value. And with population standard deviation, we divide the summation by the number of data. And here in Excel, we can use the function of standard deviation, P, population, and then put in our data. Enter. As an example, other example, if I am interested more in the sample standard deviation, which the equation is slightly different. So here, if we compare the population standard deviation and the sample standard deviation, the divider is different here. With the sample standard deviation, we use n-1. In this example, I will not use that, but in case you need it, you can use standard deviation S here, then the range of the number, and enter. So here, of course, we have a higher number because the divider is lower. The other way of describing the sample distribution is by seeing the standard error of mean. Please bear in mind that there are a lot of different types of standard error. There are standard error of proportion, standard error of medians, and other different standard error. Every standard error has its own equation. And here, because we are using standard error of mean, the equation that we are using is, is given as value as follow. Standard error of mean is the standard deviation divided by square root of the number of data. So here equal standard deviation. Yeah, depend on which standard deviation you want to use, you can choose, and divided by square root of number of data. Our data is only 10 data for each group, so we put square root 10 there. We can do the same for the second group just by copying. Here we can see that the second group have higher average and also higher standard deviation, so it's distributed or scattered more. To see how these two groups are different, we often use the t-test. In Excel, we can use the t-test function equal t-test. So we need here the data from the first group, the data from the second group, the type of distribution, one-tailed or two-tailed distribution. Please choose wisely which one do you want to use. In this case, I just use the two-tailed distribution. And then you can choose which type of t-test you want to use, because my data is not the data from group 1 and group 2 is not coming from the same subject. So I don't think I need a paired t-test. So in this case, I just use the normal t-test with unequal variance. So I put 3 here. And now we have our p-value, which is quite low, meaning that the groups are different, have a significant difference. Now, from all this number, we want to create a graph. We can put insert here, and the graph will show the average of the group. So I choose average here, and then choose graph, 2D graph. We can drag according to the place that we want. And I want a smaller graph, so yeah, this should be good. And because I don't want to have any title here, so I delete this. You can choose according to what you want. And I do not like the grid line here. Okay. Just delete. Now I want to change the color here. For example, here, if you click, it will show like this. And well, here, the fill in and border just shows one type of gray, and then I don't want to have any border. So yeah, like this. And then here, I want to have a different shade of gray and also no line. Of course, you can choose according to what you want. Now I want the name in the x-axis according to the name of the group. So I do a right click, select data, and then one here, I select the one and edit this one. And I want to change it according to the number or the name of the group. So now it changed to group 1 and group 2, and then I click OK. So now we have a bar plot That's showing the average of the theta. We can see here 2.2, the average, and 4 here. Now, I also want to show how the data is distributed by showing the standard error of mean. So what I do is I use here, I add a chart element. It can be from here or can be from the corner here, add chart element. I choose error bar. And then I want the error bars to show the standard error of mean. So therefore I choose here more option, custom. So I prefer use the custom here and specific value. And the positive error is the top boundary, which I want it according to the standard error of mean. Negative value is the lower boundary, also with the SEM, and then OK. So now we can see here that the graph showing error bar. For example, here 4, and then the top here is around 4.5. Yeah, it's according to the standard error of mean that is from the group. We can adjust the size of this, the type of error bar you want, and the size. I want it thicker so it shows better. Color if you want to change. Yeah. Yeah. In this case, we have already our bar plot and our error bar. And now, because I want to show the difference between the group and show the t-test result, so I use the asterisk. And because I need more space above, I need to change this number to have more space. For example, here I change maybe 7 will be enough. Yeah, now I have more space above the graph, so I can draw something. The easiest, according to me, to draw something is just using insert and then add shape. In this case, I want to use bracket. Do rotation. Find a good position, good size. I want it different color. So pay attention when you change something. It's about the shape option here. For example, pay attention of what is written here. And color, I want it black and quite thick. I think this will be enough. Yeah, this will be good. Then I want to add an asterisk there. Maybe put it a little bit higher. Yeah, put an asterisk by using a simple text box. Asterisk. I want it to look bigger. Okay, I need to change the fill. No fill and no borderline. And then now I need to find in the middle. Usually we also put like a note that asterisk means the p-value is lower than 0.05, for example, in this case. Okay, that's it. That is how to make a graph that's showing differences between group using Excel. Of course, you can change according to what you want, the thickness, the color, the font size. Yeah, change it according to what you need. And I hope this is useful for your research or for your paperwork. Thank you. Bye.